Consider the following table. What if we want to find the total amount spent by customers, right? In order to do that, we'll have to perform an aggregation, more precisely a sum aggregation, right? So we'll perform sum on the amount column, which will result in collapsing the number of rows in amount column to one row. And that's basically what an aggregation function does. An aggregation results in collapsing rows to one or more row. This is an example of collapsing to one row. But what if we want to find the total amount per customers? And in order to do that, we'll again have to perform the aggregation. But along with performing the aggregation, we'll have to explicitly mention how we want to group by the result, right? So whenever you want to group the result to more than one rows, you have to specify it in a group by clause. Now consider the following table, right? We have orders ID, which uniquely identifies each transaction. Then we have customer ID. Then we have customer name, then country the customer belongs to, and then the amount, and then the order date. Now, what if we want to find the total amount spent by customers? In order to find that, we'll have to perform what? Perform an aggregation, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Select sum. We'll perform aggregation on the amount column, and then we'll specify which table. Now let's execute the query. And now what you see is that all the rows are collapsed to give us one row. And this is the total amount spent by customers, right? Now, what if we want to find the total amount per customer? In order to do that, we'll have to specify first how we want to break down or how we want to group the result, right? And how we want to group the result is per customer. So customer name, and then the most important part is to use a group by. And in the group by, you are basically telling SQL explicitly how you want to group your data. Voila. Now what you have is your amount broken down by customer. And that's basically what a group by helps you to achieve. An important thing to note here is that whenever you are writing SQL queries, the order of where you place the different SQL clauses. Here is a quick reminder of where to place the SQL clauses. You start with select, then from, then where, then group by, then having, and finally the order by. Here is an example that uses all the SQL clauses. And if I run this query, the result would look something like this. It's asking SQL to give me customer ID and count of customer IDs, meaning how many times they placed an order, right? From the orders table where country is equal to UK. And then of course we always use group by after the where clause, and then having count greater than 1, meaning they have placed more than one orders. And then we use the order by clause to sort the result based on customer ID. And only one record matches the criteria. So to summarize, the main function of group by is when we perform aggregations. It lets SQL know how to slice the results, okay? And whenever you're using a group by or whenever you're writing SQL query in general, it's important to know the order of where you put which clause. So the order is, it starts from select, goes to from, where, group by, having, and order by. Now, I hope the concept of using group by in a SQL query is clear. Thank you for watching.